Alright guys, today I'm going over review worksheet number 2. It's the basics of geometry. It's a light blue worksheet. Before we get started on that, remember these are kind of like our math emojis we've been calling them. Basically, in geometry, it is very important that you know about notation. How you write things is very, very important. It matters if you have big letters versus lowercase letters. All these symbols are very important to know when to use them at the right time. The only one I really add to this one is I would add the perpendicular symbol. So that's, if it's like an upside down D, that is perpendicular. For the most part, that should, take care of everything. We have the congruent symbol. That likes the equal sign with like a little squiggly on top. So congruent symbols are here. Right angle is like an angle but has a little bar in it. Regular angle symbol, the measurement with the angle symbol means the measurement angle. You'll use an equal sign when you talk about the measure. You'll use a congruent sign when you talk about something being congruent. Parallel, segment. If it's got a bar on top, it's a segment. If it's got double arrow on top, it's a line. The label for degrees. It's really important. A lot of people are forgetting the label for degrees. Angles are congruent. Like sometimes you'll see arcs there. Sometimes you'll see two arcs. Right? You might see two arcs. You might even see a third arc. Right? With segments, you congruent segments. If there's dashes, sometimes, like I said, you'll see two dashes. So that's the kind of the ideas we're looking for. Alright, so make sure when you measure these, you're going to use your straight edge side. You're going to make sure you use the inch side because it says inches. Right? If it said millimeters, you use a millimeter side. Right? The dashes go by a 1/16 of an inch. So like if it's halfway, that's 8/16 of an inch. So the numbers are inches. Make sure you know that. Alright, so makes my first one's going to be, this one's going to be 4 and, oh, that's a total, right? 4 and 5/8 inch. Now if you have like 11/16 or 9/16, you're just off by a 1/16 of an inch, that's fine, as long as you're off by like 1/16 of an inch. So that's it. Don't forget your label. A lot of people forget their labels. 2 is going to be 4 and I'm going to say 5/16 of an inch. You might have 4 and 11/32 if you really think it's behind. I don't think you're going to get that. You might have 3/8. You might have 4 and 3/8 as well. As long as it's really like around that ballpark, you're pretty good. 3 is going to be 3 and 9/16. You can just put inch in with the period too. And then 4 is going to be 5 and 1/8 of an inch. Now if you have 2/16, that's not the same. I mean, it's the same, but I would do with the simplified version. So 5 and 1/8 would be better than 5 and 2/16. And that's it for 1 through 4. Alright, so number 5, find DE. So that's DE. Remember, the first thing I always like to do, guys, is I like to find the biggest length. So 15 is the entire piece, right? Now the red piece would be DE. That's going to be x plus 5. The blue piece is going to be x plus 8. And the green piece is x plus 14. So red plus blue plus green is going to give me my length of the entire thing. So I add my x's together, I get 3x. I add my numbers together, 5 and 8 is 13, and 14 is 27, equals 15. I minus 27 on both sides. 3x equals negative 12. Divide both sides by 3. X equals negative 4. So that's the algebra. So the red, the blue, and the green equals the black. That's the geometry. This is the algebra. I get an answer. Now, don't do all that work and then not give me an answer to the problem. So I know DG, that's the entire thing, equals 15. I know DE, that's what they wanted me to find, equals negative 4 plus 5 is going to be 1. Blue is going to be x plus 8, so negative 4 plus 8 is going to be, so EF is going to be 4. And then FG is going to be negative 4 plus 14 is 10. So what I did is I took negative 4 and I plugged it in for x and each individual piece, and I found all the pieces, and then I double checked and it worked out. So that works. Alright. So in 6, the entire piece is equal to x plus 30. So I have a red piece, WV, it's going to be x plus 18. I have a blue piece, which is 1. And I have a green piece, which is x plus 18. Alright, so now I'm going to add up my like terms. X and x is 2x. 18 and 18 is 36, plus 1 is 37, so I have 2x plus 37 equals x plus 30. I'm going to subtract x from both sides to get all my x's on one side. That's just simple PEMDAS backwards. Before we can do that, we have to get all my x's together. I get x plus 37 equals 30. Now I subtract 37 from both sides, so then I get x equals negative 7. Now that I got an answer, I get to plug those in. So the entire piece, WV, so WV is the black piece. I'm going to put negative 7 plus 30 is going to be 23. Now I'm going to find all the other pieces just to check. So WV, I put negative 7 in for 18, so I get WV equals 11. VU, it's given, it's equal to 1. And then not WV. Oh, I messed up here. WV is not 23. WV is 11. WT is the whole piece, and that's equal to 23. And then UT is equal to 11. 11 plus 1 plus 23 plus 11 equals 23. So WV is what we were looking for, and that's 11. And that's it for 5 and 6. Alright, 7 and 8 are exact same concepts. So once again, the first thing I do is I find the biggest piece, which is going to be CF. So that's going to be equal to x plus 23. So I put that after my equal sign. That's just usually what I do. Then the red piece would be CD, is going to be x plus 15. The blue piece, x plus 9. And the green piece is EF. Now I add those all together. So I put my x's together, I get 2x, 15 and 9, and 3. So 15 and 9 is 24, plus 3 is 27. So I get 2x plus 27 equals x plus 23. Now I'm going to put my x's on one side, so I'm going to minus x from both sides, so I get x plus 27 equals 23. I subtract 23 from both sides, x equals negative 4. And that's my answer. So now I'm going to plug that in to get my pieces. So I'm going to find the black piece is going to be CF. That's going to be negative 4 plus 23 to be 19. The red piece is going to be CD, which is negative 4 plus 15, which is 11. The blue piece, x plus 9, DE. So negative 4 plus 9 is 5. And then EF is the green piece, which is equal to 3. And I checked my math and it works. Remember, they were looking for DE, so my answer for this specific question should be DE equals 5. Alright, so same exact concept for 8. The whole piece is equal to 24. I have a red piece, 2x minus 5. I have a blue piece, x minus 6. And I have a green piece, x plus 3 equals 24. I can all my like terms together, 2x, x, and x, so I get 4x. Minus 5 and minus 6 is minus 11, plus 3 is minus 8 equals 24. I subtract 8 from both sides, or add 8 to both sides, I get 4x equals 32. So x equals 8. That's my answer. Now I plug it in. So UR, that's the whole piece, equals 24. That's given. UT, that's actually what they want us to find. 2 times 8 is 16. 16 minus 5 is 11. So that's kind of what they want us to find. 8 minus 6 is 2, so TS equals 2. And then 8 plus 3 is 11. So SR equals 11. So 11 plus 11 is 22, plus 2 is 24, so that works out. And that's it for 8. Alright, so we have 9, 10, 11, and 12. We're just drawing an angle using a protractor. So number 9 is 18 degrees. By the way, so that's pretty simple. It means it has to be less than 90. So you know it should be less than 90 degrees. All right, that's just it's a quick sketch. All right, it might not be 100% perfect there. 143, we know it's bigger than 90, so like that's 90. That's 180, so it's going to be like kind of halfway between there's 130, so it's going to be kind of right there. Now I'm just using that to do a quick sketch. Remember, when you're using this on a quiz, you should be using a ruler. You should be using the protractor. It's got to be really good on a quiz. So on your quiz, I'm just doing this because then it's just to be a little bit quicker. So use the protractor, and blah blah. So 11 and 12. So 11. Once again, this right here would be 120. This would be 180. Right here would be 190, or would be 90. So 135 would be right directly in the middle. So 120 is a little bit smaller than that. So the blue line, so that should be 128 degrees. All right. So 170, pretty simple. It's not straight, but it's really close to straight. All right, and that's it for up to 12. All right, so 13 through 16 are really easy. You're just following the directions. Draw an acute angle. It means it has to be less than 90, and we're going to label it RST. So I draw an acute angle. There's an acute angle. It's less than 90. There's RST. That's it. A right angle I. So I draw a right angle. Boom, boom. I, to make sure it is a right angle, boom, I just put my bar in there, my little half square in there, and it makes it a right angle. Right? It might be off a little bit, but on a quiz you should take the time and make sure you're using a straight edge and things like that. On obtuse angle, so straight line, right? FGH, so FGH, perfect. An obtuse angle, just an angle 9. So remember, guys, if you're going to use an obtuse angle and you're going to use a number, the number goes inside, so you put 9 inside there. And that's it for 13 through 16. Alright, so 17, 18, tell me name all the angles that have V as a vertex. So there's a bunch of angles. I'm going to start with the easy ones. Angle 3, angle 4, angle 5. Now, if you don't want to use angle 3, you could say angle IVJ, or you could say angle JVI. But you can only say one of those three, right? You can only have one of those three. Same thing with 4. You could say or JVK, or angle KVJ. Angle 5 could be written as angle LVK or KVL. Notice all caps. I have the angle symbol if I'm not using the number. All right. Now remember, only one of those three is going to count. All right. Now the fourth angle is going to be the entire angle, so I'm going to say the fourth angle I'm going to count is angle LVI. Angle LVI. You could say angle IVL as well. All right. The fifth angle is going to be 4 and 5 together, so it's going to be LVJ. So your fifth angle is going to be angle LVJ, or it could be angle JVL. Your sixth angle is going to be 3 and 4 together, so it's going to be angle IVK. Okay. Or it could be angle KVI. All right. 18. 18, you're going to say angle 2, angle 3. So that's it for 18. All right, 19, it's the exact same concept. There are going to be 6 different angles. So the first angle I'm going to name is I'm going to name angle 1. Second one I'm going to name is angle 2. Third name I'm going to name is angle 3. Like I said, if you don't want to name those, you could say or angle GVF or angle FVG. You could say angle FVE or angle EVF. Number 3, you could say or angle EVD or angle DVE. Other angle I'm going to put is the big angle GVD, so the fourth angle is going to be angle GVD. Our fifth angle is going to be 1 and 2 together, so GVE. And our sixth angle is going to be 2 and 3 together, so we're going to say angle FVD. Alright, number 20, we're doing the exact same concept. We're going to look for 6, this one's going to have 6 angles again. So like I said, I think the number of angles are the easiest ones to find to start. So I'll always start with those ones first. So I'm going to have angle 2. So the first angle I'm going to find is angle 2. Or you could write angle EVD, or you could switch to DVE. The second angle I'm going to find is angle 3, which you could rewrite as angle DVC. Remember, you can only have one of those two. You can't have both. And count that as 2 different answers. 3, angle 4, or angle CVB or BVC. The fourth angle we're going to talk about is the biggest one, EVB. So angle EVB, you could write BVE. And then the fifth one is angles 2 and 3 together. So I'm going to say EVC or angle CVE. And then the sixth one is 3 and 4 together. So I'm going to say BVD or angle DVB. And that's it for 20. Alright, 21, I'm doing the exact same concept as the segment addition postulate from earlier. Now remember, my rule of thumb is I always like to find the biggest angle first. So the first thing I'm going to do for 21 is I'm going to look for GHI or IHG. So I find GHI, it's 2 plus 11x. The reason I find the biggest piece first is I know I'm going to equal 2 plus 11x. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I have to find another piece, and it's going to be a smaller piece, so I'm going to look for GHV or VHG. So I find GHV is 82 degrees, so I'm going to put 82 right there. Now I'm going to have VHI, that's my next piece. So my red piece and my blue piece together give me my black piece, so that's why I'm going to have 3x plus 16 right there. So now just simple, now that's the geometry. The geometry is set up the problem. Red piece plus blue piece equals black piece. Now I'm going to just solve it. So I'm going to put my like terms together. 82 and 16 is going to be 98. So I have 3x plus 98 equals 2 plus 11x. I'm going to minus 3x from both sides. At the same time, I'm going to minus 2 from both sides. So I'm going to get 96 equals 8x. Divide both sides by 8. X equals 12. So now I'm going to actually find my angles. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find GHI. GHI is 2 plus 11 times 12. So I'm putting in the measurement, little m, angle GHI equals 2 plus 11 times 12. 11 times 12 is 132, so I get 134 degrees. Don't forget the degree symbol. The red angle, the measurement of angle GHV equals 82 degrees. That's in the problem. The blue one, 3x plus 16, so with the measurement of angle VHI equals 3 times 12 is 36. 36 plus 16 is 52 degrees. And that's it. So I have 3 answers, and now they wanted you to find GHI, so that's the one they wanted you to find. But I have all of them, and they do work out. So now I'm going to do the same exact thing for 22. So 22 says, I'm going to find, the first thing I'm going to do with 22 is the same exact thing as before. So I'm going to look for STU or UTS. So STU is going to be equal to 19x plus 9. So that is STU, right? Black piece. Now I'm going to find another piece. We'll say STD, and that's going to be 3x plus 13. So I'm going to have 3x plus 13. And then I'm going to have a blue piece. The blue piece is UTD or DTU. DTU is going to be 140. So once again, the same exact concept. Red plus blue equals black. Now I'm going to solve my problem. I have 3x plus 153 equals 19x plus 9. I'm going to subtract 9 from both sides. I'm going to actually move the 3x over, so I'm going to minus 3x from both sides. I'm going to minus 9 from both sides, get all my x's on the right, all my numbers on the left. I get 144 equals 16x. I divide both sides by 16, and I get x equals 9. So now I'm going to plug it in and I'm going to get my answers. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to say the measurement of angle STU equals 19 times 9 plus 9. So the measure of angle STU is 19 times 9 plus 9. I get 180 degrees. So it did look like a straight line, and it was. Right? Now I'm going to get the measure of angle STD. So it's 3 times 9, which is 27, plus 13, so it's going to be 40 degrees. And now I'm going to find the measure of UTD, so the measure of angle UTD, or DTU. So the measure of angle DTU equals 140 degrees, and that math makes sense. Alright, so 23 is the exact same concept that we've been doing before. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find J, K, L. It's the biggest piece. So I'm going to have my equals 75x minus 1. Now I'm going to find TKJ, or JKT. So that's 29 degrees. So I'm going to have 29 degrees. I'm actually not going to use the degree symbol. Now my blue piece is going to be LKT, or TKL, which is 59x plus 2. So I'm going to have 29 plus 59x plus 2. Now I'm going to combine my like terms, and I'm just going to use, the geometry is done, so now we're just doing the algebra part. So 29 and 2 is 31, so I'm going to have 59x plus 31 equals 75x minus 1. I'm going to get all my x's on the right side, so I'm going to subtract 59x from both sides. And I'm going to add 1 to both sides, so I'm going to put all my numbers on the left side. So I'm going to end up with 32 equals 16x, divide both sides by 16. So x is going to be equal to 2. And remember, once I find x, I'm going to plug it in to get my actual angle measures. So I'm going to say the measure of angle JKL equals 75 times 2 is 150. 150 minus 1 is 149 degrees. Don't forget the degree symbol. Now, I already know the measure of angle JKT. That's going to be equal to 29 degrees. I'm going to plug in 2 for x. So the measure of angle TKL. It's 59 times 2, which is 168. 118. 118 plus 2 is 120 degrees. And that makes sense. So it's good. 24 is the exact same concept. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find JIH, or HIJ. So that's 40x plus 6. So I know I'm going to have equals 40x plus 6 on the right side. Now I'm going to find the pieces. So I have JIC, or CIJ. So that's going to be 140 degrees. So the red piece, once again, I'm not going to use a degree symbol until the end. And HIC is going to be 6x plus 2. So on the left side, it's going to become 6x plus 142 equals 40x plus 6. what I'm going to do is I'm going to put all my letters on the left. So I'm going to minus 6x, arm on the right side, from both sides. Just because 40 is smaller. Now I could move all the x's to the left if you like that. That's fine. You'll get the same exact answer at the end. I'm going to subtract 6 from both sides to move all my numbers to the left. So my letters are on the right because 40 is bigger than 6. 40x is bigger than 6x. And that means I move the numbers to the left. So I end up with 136 equals 34x. Divide both sides by 34. So I'm going to get x equals 4. Once I get x equals 4, I got to get some actual values. So I'm going to find, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find hij, so the measurement, that's the biggest piece, is hij. 40 times 4 is 160, plus 6 is, so it's 166 degrees. I already know that Cij, so the measurement of angle Cij is 140 degrees. And then the measurement of angle HIC is equal to 6 times 4, which is 24, plus 2, which is 26 degrees, and that ends up making sense. So that's it for 24. All right, 25 and 26, really easy. I'm just going to name the relationship. So complementary means equal to 90 degrees, in case you didn't know. So together it's going to be two angles equal 90. Linear pair means they're going to make a line, and they have to be adjacent, which, if you don't know what adjacent means next to each other. And vertical means across. So 25, we have A and B. Together they make a straight line, so they're next to each other, so we're going to say linear pair. You do not have to put adjacent because by definition a linear pair is adjacent, even though they could technically be called adjacent. 26A is across from B. They're not next to each other because that would, if they were next to each other, there wouldn't be an angle in between the two. So they are across from each other, which means they are vertical. All right. So that's it for 25 and 26. 27, 28, 29, 30 are the exact same concept. So I'm looking for either they could be complementary, adjacent, vertical, or linear pair. So 27, it's a linear pair because A and B are next to each other, and together they make up an entire line. So we have a linear pair. 28 is adjacent because they're next to each other. They do not make up an entire line. There's an angle there. So, and there's no box to say it would be complementary. So you'd have to have like a box there to say it would be a right angle. 29 is a linear pair. And 30 are adjacent. So 27, 28, 29, 30. Right? All right, 31 and 32, you're listing given information. So you're just going to look at the picture and just be able to identify the given information. So you have to remember that segments are listed as congruent by these little dashes. So if it's got a dash, they're congruent segments. So I know FL is congruent, so I have to use a congruent symbol, and I have to have a bar on top of FL to say that it's a segment. It's congruent to MB. All right, that's the first part. Now arcs are congruent angles. So I know this angle is congruent to this angle. So that means I'm going to say angle EGL. There are other ways to write that. You could write FGE, EGF, LGE, but is congruent to angle CGM. All right. So if it's got arcs, that's the number of arcs are matching angles. So the 2 arc is not congruent to the 3 arc. The 3 arc, so this one is congruent to this one. So my other congruent angle is going to be angle EG or DGE or EGD, doesn't matter. We'll say EGD is congruent. So you got to use the congruent symbol, and you got to use the angle symbol, CGD. And that's it for 31. 32, exact same concept. Now these little triangles mean parallel. All right. So they're going to be parallel lines. So I'm going to say DE. Now to say it's a line, I put the little double arrow over the top, is congruent. Let's make that congruent symbol a little bit better. to FH or HF. Now I see a right angle. So I like to say that the measure of angle FGH equals 90 degrees. A lot of times, if you look it up online or you look in the book or something, they're going to say something like this. The segment, so you could do either two. You could write what I just wrote here, or you could write with this too. FG segment is perpendicular. That's like an upside down T to GH segment. All right. Like I said, I like writing that it's equal to 90 degrees, but now then I have arcs. So that means angles are congruent. So I'm going to say angle GFH is congruent to angle FHG. So remember, just because they're the same letters doesn't mean the same angle. They both have different vertices, so they are different angles. So that's 32. 33 and 34, the exact same concept. You're trying to identify the given information. So I always start with, I think arcs are the easiest segments are the easiest to see because I think it's easy to see dashes. So I'm going to start off with RS with a bar, means it's a segment, is congruent to ST with a bar. Now I see some arcs, so I see arcs. 3 arcs congruent to 3 arcs, so I say angle RPS is congruent to angle SPT. All caps, don't forget your angle symbol. Then we see different arcs. So those 2 arcs mean that angle QPR is congruent to angle TPU. All right. 34, exact same concept. So right away I see the 90-degree angle. There's 2 ways you can write it. You can say the measurement of angle SRQ is equal to 90 degrees, or you could write QT with a bar is perpendicular to SR with a bar. That's an option. So these are both the same bits of information. You can't have both of those and count as 2. It's one or the other. Now I have dashes. So I say UT is congruent to QP. So UT with a bar is congruent to QP with a bar. And finally, I get to say these angles are congruent. So I'm going to say angle UTR is congruent to angle PQR. And that finishes our review worksheet. So we're done.